You might remember we left off last week with our worst week of bus life.
We discovered we had a huge oil leak and this was not good.
There was so much oil coming out of the bus and we were worried this was going to be an expensive fix.
We thought that was a lot, but things got a lot worse.
So last week we left off where we had this oil leak.
When we got here and we were unhooking the Jeep, I was like, wow, everything looks pretty greasy back here. Well, look at this, like.
I know, I see it.
And then I went back there again and there's a huge puddle of oil.
There's oil everywhere. A gallon of oil coming out of the bus for every 20 to 30 minutes we were driving.
Not ready for the next bus problem. Ready or not, here it is.
We were wondering what was wrong and trying to troubleshoot it so that we could hopefully figure out how to fix it.
This has really been the year of everything just breaking on us. I know these things happen, but we're trying to keep it real and show you what life on the road is like, and it's just been that year for us. We have had non-stop problems all year, so this was coming on top of
Replacing the Jeep windscreen.
Then the protective cover broke.
We had to replace the master relay.
Our back AC tubing was leaking.
Our front AC lost its charge, so we added flex tubing.
We had to get new tires for the Jeep.
The Jeep's battery died, so we had to replace that.
Our tow wiring wasn't working.
We had a shifting problem that plagued us for 3 months.
Finally found out our fuel filters were clogged.
We had a leak in the alternator, had to replace it.
And our fuel filters had been held by bungee cords for a year, so we finally fixed that.
It was expensive, but we got new tires for the bus.
Our front solar array went out and we had to replace a wire.
The front AC tubing was leaking again, and we had a major oil leak. Before we get too much further in the video, we're very excited because we got a new song to share with you.
So stick around until the end of the video where you will hear a preview of the song, Sink or Swim, and find out how it can be yours. So our microwave, convection oven, toaster, and air fryer all in one was awesome for maybe about 3 years, and then it busted.
We got a couple hours until we're going to move spots, but I think I'm going to go ahead and try to troubleshoot the microwave and pull it out, because at the very least I'll have measurements, because we're going to do a big shop today and we might just buy a new cheapo microwave.
It might not be the best brand, but I also think there's something about us going down bumpy roads and it rattling around that maybe it's not gonna last as long. We're just gonna get whatever kind of microwave we can get right now that's cheap, affordable, because we've survived without a microwave, but I miss it. Pizzicato, on the other hand, thinks this is a fab idea to make her a little spot where she can get away from Mr. Sweetface. Yeah? What you doing over there? Is it the best? Oh, should we use this as your home?
We found the Hamilton Beach Horno de Microondas de Tamos Mediano, available at Walmart for $80. And the thing that I like about this already, even though I haven't pulled it out of the box, is for $9 more, I have a 3-year warranty. And since that stupid Galance that we had died in under 3 years, I wish I would have had a 3-year warranty on that one. Over the years in the bus, stuff has been spilled.
Who's responsible for that?
We're not gonna blame anybody.
Who takes things out of the microwave and just spools over here?
So there's some mess. I don't know how bad it is. You can tell me.
Pizzicato worked a little bit on it earlier. Oh, it's pretty bad.
We also picked up like a month's worth of groceries, so Mella's busy.
We found that when we were in Utah, it was so hard to find good, fresh vegetables. Picked up a tip from some other traveling friends is buy your fresh veggies, prep them and freeze them so that you have extra good veggies in the freezer.
Generic frozen veggies.
Yeah.
She's got lots of veggies
I got a lot of prep to do.
Clean and bag and put in the freezer. I don't know if this is gonna work because the microwave tray area was specifically designed for the old microwave air fryer toaster that blew up. So shiny. I'm gonna just take it out and set it in there and see if it fits. If it does, that'd be amazing.
It doesn't fit.
That means I gotta pull the whole top piece here and here, make a little template with the bottom of the microwave and cut it. And I don't think that's gonna happen tonight. One more thing, half fixed, I guess. Trying to figure out where the oil was leaking from. I called around, got some input from bus mechanic friends Joe and Ivan. The first thing I wanted to check is maybe to see if the oil filters might be loose and leaking, or if the oil filter seal was broken. I got 5 gallons of oil. I think it takes 10.5 total. I'm only down about a quarter, and I'm hoping I can get under there and just tighten my oil filters. Put in, I don't know, 2 gallons. And we got about a 15-minute drive. So I do have a wrench for the fuel filters. I thought it would fit, but those oil filters are bigger. Now I needed to get a strap wrench to see if I could tighten those current filters we had to see if that would stop the leaking. And while I was at the auto store, I went ahead and got new filters just in case those old ones were no good. So just gotta get back and hurry up and tighten them on so we can move, because we've got to move in an hour.
We had only planned to come stay at that state park for one night so we could dump and fill and get ready to move on to the next destination. But now with this leak, we were like, I don't think we should drive very far.
Okay, I'm ready to get up under there. Not jacked up or anything, so it's not very easy to get under there. I'm gonna try to do it. I don't know if that did anything. I could tighten it on there, but it just doesn't budge, it doesn't move. Disappointing. So I went ahead and put 1 gallon in, and it looked like it topped it up, so we just gotta move in like an hour. So we got some oil in there. The engine won't blow up, but we might spray it down the road. Once we got there, I did some more troubleshooting, just trying to figure out where the oil was leaking from. I could not get those oil filters to budge, tighten, or loosen at all. So I decided I don't have the right tools. I've never done this before. I've just watched people do it. Might as well get a professional. So we called a mechanic who was able to come out and go ahead and change our filters. And unfortunately, that wasn't where the leak was. The new oil filters are on, and it doesn't look like they're leaking. It looks like it's like a mount. The whole oil filter mounts to the block. We'll place this little bolt where it looks like it's coming out. To be absolutely sure that's where it is before we go too much further, spent $8, bought 2 cans of brake clean, sprayed down a 2x1 foot area where the oil filter housing is and the oil filters are. And I'm just gonna go ahead and have Mello start the bus while I stand back there so I can see for myself if it's dripping.
We started the engine up, and it was evident that the oil leak was coming from the oil cooling housing or mount. With this new info, we called a couple mechanics to try and find out how we could fix this. The mechanic said his best guess was that the gasket in the housing of the filter had a leak. So we decided to go ahead and order that part.
My only fear is we have the gaskets fixed and there's still another leak somewhere. I don't know.
That's the way it goes. It just seems like it's hard to trust it, right?
Yeah, I mean, unless you have somebody that's just actually going to go through every single thing and figure it out, which is what I'm trying to do. It's just a bunch of guessing game. And even to drive into town, yeah, we'd probably lose a gallon, if not 2 gallons. The oil pressure gets pretty low, which is scary.
Yeah, luckily we got, the spot was available, so we don't have to move again, which is really great. That's lucky.
Yeah, but it's turning out to be a very expensive problem.
What was that, $350 for him to come today?
And $100 for the parts I got. Another $90 for oil. And it'll be $80 for the gaskets, which is great. But unless they work real fast, I don't think we're gonna get out of there for $500.
So it's gonna turn into another $1,000 job. All right, you're filthy. Go shower and get out of my kitchen.
Also, my hat has been sacrificed to be a work hat.
Yeah, that's a goner for sure. And while we waited for the part and to get an appointment at the mechanic, may as well continue fixing the microwave situation.
So first step in cutting a slightly larger hole in the microwave stand is to pull every single thing I have out of the luggage bay. Oh jeez. I really want to dedicate some time to build some slide outs later this summer, because this is painful doing it this way. Now the trick is to find all the tools I need. I'm sure I have them. I just gotta figure out where they're at. Camera just broke. This camera's falling apart, guys. The battery exploded, one of them, so we've got one battery left for this camera, and then the side snap to keep the battery in place just came apart. So, and I just remembered the part that I really needed to get the microwave mount out, I think is just in a little bag in here in the bus. Well, it looks like we glued this one in, so it's gonna be a little tricky to get out. We had glue on the two sides. That's one of the reasons it really stuck in there. The screws just held it to the glue to dry, and that glue's super strong. Now it's time to figure out how to get the hole for the new microwave. I had to get a little creative with the drill. So I cut that little corner out for the microwave there, but let's see if it fits. Victory! Oh.
Does it work?
Yeah.
Yay.
It's super hot today, so it's not a fun job to do out in the sun, but I'm trying to stay busy.
I'm sorry, Pizzicato. She's gonna be sad. We've taken away her little spot over there. You can take over the toolbox instead? Huh? Can you just sleep anywhere? Anywhere.
So we just had a quick little chat about if we should glue it back in, and we decided yes, because it's going to hold it so much more secure when it's glued in place. So I got some glue. It's got a protective coating. I'm not sure if it's good or not. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's some liquid in there.
The tip was clogged with dried glue. I got creative, much to Mello's dismay.
Might need your help on this.
Fancy way of doing it.
Do you have a better way? I don't know how.
I don't know, let's just hurry up because it's all gonna drip everywhere. We
Okay.
have nothing protecting our floor or anything.
Like to take the stickers off and make it official? Oh, I gotta do that.
Remember when I said the camera broke? Well, it stopped recording audio, but Mello told me I needed to still put this vent in.
Taking the stickers off and making it official.
Satisfying. There you go. Yay.
2 days later, the gaskets came in and the mechanic said to just come on over and that they would
replace the gaskets. It was about a 45-minute drive and we were pretty nervous, but the only thing I could control was how much oil was going to pour out onto the ground. I used my MacGyver skills and bungeed up a oil pan that I had to the bottom of our engine. I'm wondering if strapping this is a good idea just to try to catch some of that oil, or if it's an issue, like is it gonna melt? He said it's probably gonna take him all day to pull the oil pump housing out, replace the gaskets, put it back on. So it's gonna be a long, expensive day.
We have made it to the mechanics.
We got here bright and early this morning.
We didn't film any of the driving section because it was a bit of a nerve-wracking drive. Like, were we going to lose too much oil? I drove behind in the Jeep so I could kind of watch and see if any oil was dripping or spewing out the back. And I didn't see any oil until we turned the last corner to get into the mechanics.
And by the time we arrived at the mechanics,
the pan was full. Hopefully we can stay cool enough. We are half parked into the shop, so we got some shade because it's gonna be in the 90s today here. We did not want to be in this area. We wanted to drive straight through it, but hopefully it'll all be okay. They say it's gonna be an all-day job, so we basically just gonna settle in and go about our business, have some breakfast, do some work.
I feel like every time something breaks in the bus, I'm constantly trying to learn and understand. I'm always watching the mechanics or watching videos about people fixing buses like ours or similar. This was a job that was definitely out of my skill set. In order to get the oil cooling housing off, you've got to remove all of the coolant tubes in that area and then pull the oil cooler out. This means you got to drain at 15-20 gallons of coolant from your radiator and engine, as well as a whole bunch of oil that's gonna leak out all over. This is not something I would have been comfortable doing myself, especially at a state park or at an RV park, because it was a mess. And instantly we saw that the one gasket was broken and that was probably the source of our oil leak.
That thing's so old and brittle.
I'm sure this is from 1996. It's hard to believe something that small caused you such a big headache.
First, it's going to be that one goes there, one of those ones goes there.
We prepared ourselves for the worst case scenario today. You know, we tried to think of everything that could go wrong that we could prep for. Like, we maybe would lose too much oil on the way here. So we had places lined up that we could stop and fill more oil up into the bus and make sure we got here safely. And then we prepped ourselves mentally that today and they're gonna find more parts of the housing that has issues and is breaking down or something. We may end up having to stay here for more days. So we just kind of thought of all the scenarios that could happen. Honestly, it feels like everything is like it's the best case scenario is happening for us today. So even though we're tired from constantly having problem after problem, it just couldn't have gone better.
After putting all new gaskets on, cleaning the oil filter housing, put everything back together, he gave it a nice power wash around the engine and all over where the oil cooler area was so that we could run the engine for a good while just to check to see if there were any leaks, but also to circulate the coolant, make sure that we didn't need more coolant before we took off.
It looks like we are good to go. We're gonna drive half an hour to some BLM to stay for the night, and it gives us a little bit of a test, I guess, without going too far away from the mechanics. But we're feeling good, we're feeling positive. Well, $2,200 odd later, and Eleftheria is back on the road. The drive went great. She's not leaking oil. She did get really warm. It is hot. It is like in the 90s. We didn't really want to be in this area because it's so hot, but we are gonna get as many clothes off as possible and relax for the evening, because we're gonna get up super early tomorrow so we can drive in the coolest part of the day and get up to Leadville where it's going to be so much cooler. See you tomorrow, guys. We slept so well last night, and it's time to go. Let's go up into the mountains. This longer drive up into the mountains had us a little bit nervous. Was the bus ready for this? But this drive was spectacular.
I kept a really good eye on my coolant levels, oil pressure levels, and the bus was driving probably better than it's ever driven before. So we were feeling great, heading into a spot I scouted out near Leadville, and then things took a turn.
Well, this year officially sucks. It sucks. I give up. Pretty much give up. We're in a pickle, guys. We're in a pickle. Don was probably a little bit tired, and he was trying to avoid hitting a tree, and instead he hit a rock. We are officially stuck. And I could see from back in the Jeep that his front right tire drove up on top of a rock. And I thought he fell over the top of the rock, but I think what actually happened was that because there was a ditch there, the weight of the bus and the angle of the ground sent that rock flying into the middle of the bus, which is the rock we had to pull out that wasn't stuck. But that meant he had driven up on a rock and there was another one. And so when that rock fell out, he fell on top of the rock that we got stuck on.
I think we can get the Jeep back there and pull that rock out of the way.
We have a tow truck coming. We tried to dig the rock out. Thank you, Carol, for this shovel. So we're trying to dig this out as best we can. It's really heavy and it's really jammed in there. But we figured, may as well.
Definitely took the corner way too hard. I was busy looking at the trees to make sure we didn't clip those, and I think I was very worn out and frazzled.
So it was a good 7-8 hour day of driving, which we don't normally do. We shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I also was looking to see if we'd done any damage to the diesel tank right there, because that's exactly where the rock hit. I didn't see any fuel leaking. That's a good sign, but I'm still trying to figure out how we get the bus off of this rock because I can't move back or forward now.
The dually tire was also stuck in the ditch. Like it was just, the wheel was just spinning.
Are you guys stuck there?
Yes, sir.
Sure are.
Do you want me to try and pull you back?
Well, I'm up on top of a rock here. And that's why I can't move. So I'm trying to figure out if I can take this rock out.
I might pull your front end over.
I'm sorry?
I might be able to pull your front end over. That Jeep definitely.
You think you can wedge that rock out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Easy.
Other campers have been really helpful, and neighbors have helped us kind of move this big rock that we're not stuck on, but it's better to get it out of the way. And we got some more people driving by in Jeeps. They think they can pull it out, but I don't know.
This one was right. Did you get a strap all the way around it?
Those guys showed up and they were just like these angels, and they were so excited to help. Like, it was like they got to put their Jeeps to use, you know? It was like fun for them. He is not budging, but they are determined to help us, so. Don's trying to dig it out a little bit more. Ugh.
way, and then you can maybe pull it that way. Go back that way. Go pull it that way.
How you doing?
My spirit is a little bit broken. Like,
Yeah.
how are you doing?
I'm still frazzled. I guess I'm just glad it's not a whole lot worse.
Oh, so we called a tow truck, right?
No cell phone reception. We knew we had to plug the Starlink in, and then we were able to call a towing company that deals with big rigs. Said they could be out in 90 minutes to 2 hours, and it was going to be $1,300.
It was getting later and we were blocking all these other campers and we're sticking out in the road and it's gonna get dark in a few hours. I thought the best thing to do was to call a tow truck.
Once the guys came over and pulled that rock out, I had to unhook the Starlink so that we could see if we could really still move and back the bus into a safe spot. Mela had my phone. She was texting the towing company our GPS, and that didn't go through. The tow truck driver texted to say he was running behind. By the time we plugged the Starlink back in, and I saw his message that, hey, I didn't get your pin drop, I was able to call him. And he said, well, I haven't even headed that way, so we probably won't charge you. Which was one of the conditions of hiring the tow truck company, is that once they're dispatched,
Whether they are successful in pulling you out or not,
Yes.
like you have to pay them.
it was a huge relief.
Those angels that showed up and pulled their rock out, got us out for free. They were just having a ball. As far as we can tell right now, it's only body damage, and so Don's already been chatting with Joe, and he said we can order those body parts from MCI
or find them from a used
yeah.
D3. And if we would have smashed that tank and it would have been leaking diesel, we would have had to have had somebody come out.
Please be kind in the comments. We have had a rough time. You couldn't possibly even know everything we've been through. So this was just kind of the cherry on top for us. Don is an excellent driver. I'm always so impressed with how he maneuvers the bus. But I think he was tired and there was a lot of obstacles and he was trying to do it without any extra eyeballs helping.
I just cut the turn too soon.
I feel like it's the best case scenario, how everything pans out, how we've coped with it and the results and the people that have helped us along the way. It's been, the best of the worst. We're exhausted, but look at this amazing spot we've got. It'll probably take us a couple weeks to decompress from this event, our most stressful week of bus life.
But we'll be listening out for the wisdom from the beauty of the surroundings and the wild nature from the locals.
As we plan out our next move.
If you watched the last couple weeks' videos, then you know it's been about overcoming obstacles and perseverance, which is fitting because that's kind of what the song we just finished is all about.
We'll leave a link in the description so you can purchase Sink or Swim with the cover art and the lyrics. But first, here's a little sample of Sink or Swim.
Through the veil that shines.